Six months of doing this challenge, editing this footage, and recording this voiceover, here it is. The sequel to How to Beat An Untitled Story Haunted by the Dead. Without further ado, let's dive in. Double the time it took to create Haunted by the Dead went into this. Please like and subscribe. This shit takes a really long time and a lot of dedication to complete. After 2 goes, Siskiyou, totally not me, 100% not me, decided I should play the game entirely blind. Of course, that failed almost instantly. I killed exactly 1 boss and threw in the towel. So I asked Siskiyou to make a mod that just adds Grotto Darkness to the screen. Then, because I am a cocky, egotistical, sadistic lunatic, I set the difficulty to difficult. In doing so, I effectively gave myself a biblical revelation and am no longer an atheist, but now someone who believes in the idea of some form of a god but not in the teachings of the church. Here is a fair warning for those who, I guess, want to do this and find the mod that allows it to happen. For the love of fucking Christ, do not do this in difficult or masterful mode like I did. Mistakes were made, and I think I have fully repented for every single one of my sins. This shit can't be described as anything else but as a free ticket of repentance of mortal and immortal sin, and thus a ticket into heaven. Before we begin, let's talk golden orbs. I forgot to talk about them last video, so to those who don't know why the fuck they are so important, here's a brief explanation of their power. In simple, regular, difficult, and master mode, the number of golden orbs you need to open a door in Black Castle varies. As I said, we are doing this in difficult mode, which means we need 9 of 10 golden orbs to enter Black Castle, which is the final area of the entire game. In simple mode, it takes 5 golden orbs to pass. In regular, it takes 7, and in masterful mode, it takes all 10 of the golden orbs to open the door. Their catch is that once you grab a particular golden orb, or grab the yellow energy or jump ability, ghosts can start spawning. The more you hold, the more frequently / more likely ghosts are to spawn to try to kill you. I realized this after grabbing 2 golden orbs, but you will see me not pick a single one up after this for a very long time. They are all placed by or near a save point, so I just teleport back and grab them all at once. We can officially enter Black Castle. This should stop ghosts from randomly spawning and being a problem. 2 golden orbs doesn't make that big of a difference to ghost spawn frequency, even in difficult mode. From noon until 3 in the afternoon, darkness came all over all the land. About 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried in a loud voice, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Matthew 27:45. Unlike with 2 motherfucking ghosts on my ass constantly, the first boss of the entire game goes without a single problem. This is, and I'm not joking when I say this, the only boss in the entire challenge to be defined as easy. All other bosses are nightmares and should burn in hell. Needless to say, this challenge was already looking up to be easier than 2 ghosts by 2 miles. Then I continued onward with it and realized more and more just how ludicrous everything would be. I knew right then and there this was probably the easiest part, and I took it heavily for granted. Probably didn't expect me to talk about this goddamn tower comprised of literally 2 fucking screens, huh? This is where our first challenger of the game lies, Cannon Boss. Now, on regular mode, this guy would be easy as hell. On difficult mode, he does 30 damage a hit, and I only have a max of 120 health. 4 hits versus a massive dodgeball-esque boss fight, and you got yourself a recipe of 2 bullshitters bullshitting one another. This boss was so fucking hard I had to invent an entirely new way to dodge his fireballs in order to beat him. A 5th dimensional chess level of change. We jump off the platform into the upper pocket to the left, jumping over all 4 of his fireballs, and then quickly land to jump over them again, maybe sometimes using my moderate double jump strength to snake my way through his shots. This guy is ridiculous, and I should mention, if I haven't already done so, that this is the 2nd boss of the entire game. And may I just say, this little fucker, with his piece of shit, trash ass 3rd cannon blue balls shot. It has become force of habit for me to grab the jump upgrade right outside his chamber, and grabbing that makes his 3rd cannon blue ball shot borderline impossible to hit without getting fucked by the fireball right above it. Naturally, RNGesus saw this grand flaw and butt-fucked me hard in the ass with 15 consecutive fucking third blue ball cannon shots in a row. The first of many themes are obvious here. The RNG of the game is going to be very fucking brutal. Oh boy! The first of 3 toughness upgrades, and holy hell, this one was a lot easier than I expected. Just a literal hop, skip, and a jump, and bam, I got it. Pretty dang simple. I'm going to mention it now, but these toughness upgrades are a life and game changer. Without it, Stone Castle's boss would quite literally be impossible. As the toughness upgrades, minus 10 damage reduction was the only thing that saved me when I did fight him. Upon picking this up, my one dormant brain cell sent out an electric pulse for once in its entire life, and I remembered the Nightwalk toughness upgrade. I knew right then and there that there is no mercy, no peace, and no end to the pain of this challenge. If I could choose a moment to stop doing this challenge, have it never happen, get back all my time, about here would be where I pack my shit up. Unfortunately, time does not work that way, and I continued onward, surprisingly, to Area 3. I stared at my script for a solid 3 days, just left it open, just tried to think of anything that would make this place interesting. I couldn't. Glob Boss was kinda cool, just damage boost the fuck out of his balls and kill him. Ghost Boss is easily skipped and then defeated purely out of spite. The easiest respite area in the game is Inane. I mean, this is supposed to be easy as shit, but oh my god. I struggle to pull through here, right? I fucking died once. But still, I try to be as humble as possible in these videos, but just this once I gotta brag. Unbelievably, I beat Skytown without dying once in nearly 5 years. I lost my sobriety coin, and that just so happens to be the same day I die in Skytown. Absolutely wild. In case you are a fucking dumbass, this was all sarcasm. The dying part wasn't, but the rest was. I say this because apparently it is borderline impossible for some people, such as my mother, to detect my sarcasm. Now this video may have been 10 times harder to record, edit, and voiceover, and I have a very good reason for that. All these areas are boring as taking a shit. In fact, if you are watching this video for the gameplay, prepare to be severely disappointed. Imagine writing the script to a challenge in which you can't see 99% of the fucking screen. A pattern quickly emerges in early game and remains persistent until we complete it. I will have 2 bosses that seem to be impossible to kill, but one must fall for the other to die. In this case, I need the roof grab ability from Blobo here in order to beat Stoneface Man. Thus we beat Blob first, then we beat up this Ron Swanson wannabe. Grab our ass slam ability and make our way to Fish Boss. This very pattern of 2 or more bosses being left alive because I just can't fucking kill them is continuous throughout the entire game. And even foreshadows 2 very special dickheads. I almost forgot to mention the jump upgrade that is located here, the very same one deemed truly impossible in the previous video, is 100% possible here, and I am humble enough to admit that it took me 2 attempts to get this, despite the fact I should have easily gotten it in 1. I said in the previous video that every single challenge I do, this guy is a fucking asshole. This challenge broke that entire philosophy over its knee. He hit me twice. Once because I forgot how to be good at the game, and the second time, surprisingly, is because I couldn't fucking see the projectiles that bounce all around the room for the last phase. Unlike Sans Undertale, I can't predict random bullshit hitting me. What the fuck am I supposed to do about that? Regardless, with his death we enter the beginning of the middle game at exactly 1 hour. And 1 hour faster than 2 goes, which is very saddening, as that supposedly means, at least by the time, that we have an easier challenge in our hands. Though we still have middle and end game to go. There is still hope, and spoiler alert, a certain world blows this time way over 2 ghosts, 9 hours. This is a short prelude before chapter 2, but this guy is fucking terrifying. When he was just a few more of his halves left and you can't see them for shit, good lord almighty, I shat my britches something fierce from this fight. Same goes for when Stone Man slams down onto me. That gave me a proper scare the first time. I killed him despite the fact he gave me a heart attack and grabbed the second of 3 toughness upgrades. Thank God himself that this toughness upgrade is a freebie and doesn't give enough of a shit if you did Strange Castle hitless or not. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. Revelation 13:1 and 13:6. Hell, the place people of sin, or immortal sin, are sent to for an eternity of suffering and despair, with no escape and no hope. You become a shell of the man or woman you once were, never to break out of said shell ever again. This description of hell doesn't even begin to describe the torture this entire mid-game section gave me. Fire cage. Holy shit. The first heart in this place was a proper bitch to get. Everything after it was a piece of cake. Grab a few heart upgrades here and there, and proceed to fight Fire Cage's boss. The gimmick in difficult is that one of his red energy orbs are gone, and only one spawns on one side of it. If you take your sweet time, he'll reactivate, and you miss your chance to damage him. His fire bars and fire squares move and summon much faster. In order to hit him, I hug one side of the arena while still being close enough to see the particle effects emitting from him. These particle effects tell me when he is taking a breather. If the red orb doesn't spawn on my side, I make a mad dash to the other side and smack him upside the head. Rinse and repeat, maybe get a little bit lucky, and bada bing, bada boom. We get the yellow energy orb jump ability, and we can now access everywhere in the game. In theory, we get a, only particle effects show up in the darkness, and even then only a few. Better luck next time, Ghost King. Get absolutely no warning and head off to, I structured the script based on the order of the bosses I kill, but this is kinda where we hit a mighty fat wall. Fluffy, or Deep Dive boss, is unholy to even get to. Mummy boss probably has the coolest particle effects. XR is probably impossible or highly improbable to beat. Blank boss can easily be defeated just by taking his bullshit. But we don't necessarily need to kill him. I grabbed his gold orb prior to even defeating Fire Cage's boss, so I set my sights on Ninja boss. We almost certainly must one cycle him to proceed. His bullet rush attack before his breather is just too much to realistically dodge. I get every health ability I can muster prior to Mummy or Fluffy's death, and I can make my way to Curtain, which you won't be seeing until much later into this video. So let's head on to Dark Grotto. What the fuck do you want me to say? What difference would anything here have? I didn't tell Siskiyou to remove the light effects from things that only do give you light effects. This place was the only nice and relaxing place there was. Not much to say here. Literally zero difference. This is the place this challenge came from. I have nothing to really show. Just look up the gameplay of An Untitled Story and just find a ancient relic of a YouTuber play through Dark Grotto. Well, here we are. Undertomb. No. I am a humble, honest, hard-working man. I will admit, I thought to cheat the section prior to Fluffy's fight, that does anywhere from 120, or 240, or even, I don't know, 360 damage to me. I decided against it, however, for the reasons I said before. I now follow the mighty word of God, and those who are unrighteous do not inherit the kingdom of God! I didn't cheat. I manned up and bore the handicap Siskiyou bestowed upon me. Fluffy is a fair easy boss to cheese the fuck out of, blindness or not. I beat it with a mighty grand fight, and emerged victorious. Though having about 700 health at this point probably made a difference. 447 health. Got hit a fuck ton of times in the in-between of the Titanic here, because how in the fuck am I supposed to dodge spikes that fade in and out of existence? We completed this gauntlet a long while ago, but I am adding it here because last video I didn't bother. This breaks the rule I have about writing a script, but this place was very interesting to fuck around in, almost completely blind. This place is one big platforming challenge and I can't see jack shit. This place is what taught me to use the long shot upgrade to tell where and when to jump and how to do so as effectively as possible. Without Cloud Run, this run would have taken a whole lot longer than it would have. This place was legit my mentor in this challenge, and without it, I must admit, I probably would have taken a whole extra hour just to beat this challenge. The boss here, of course, is impossible, or so goddamn difficult that I am not willing to put in the hours to beat her. So we are out of a heart and a gold ore, but because we need 9, this is fine. I knew XR was going to be impossible, so it's not realistically doable, so I set her aside. So let's take a moment of silence to thank this place, and let's carry on to the present. 810 health here is what I had to work with to get to Ice Boss and kick his ass. Unlike the last video where I made about 20 ice puns in a brief 2 or 3 minute section, I am actually going to talk about this place, purely because, much like the entire challenge, this was a nightmare. This is awkward. It wasn't that bad. Some jumps were a bit more extra than they had to be. The ice spike backs in Notre Dame were a nuisance, but they always are. The hardest part was Ice Boss, and that was just a memory game to know where and when the fuck to jump and move around in one. At this point, we have 3 more golden orbs max to grab. I decided to just grab them all at this point because the ghosts that randomly spawned cannot be that big of a problem. So, here are our options. XR, Cloud Run's gold orb, in that nice lovely pink circle there. Mummy Boss should be a piece of cake pointed out in that lovely orange. And of course, iBoss, the Ghost King's younger, dumber, uglier brother, circled in the nice purple there. Technically, all of this is possible with extreme luck and skill no mortal can possibly or reasonably possess. iBoss and Mummy Boss are our contenders. Mummy Boss, apparently, based on damage numbers, is supposed to be fought around the same time as Ninja, so naturally we head there first. These two guys were actually a lot more fun than I expected. Unlike all the other bosses where it was annoying and maddening to die endlessly to them, I didn't mind dying to these two bosses. Their before sections were fun to keep going through, and their actual fights were enhanced by not being able to see. Mummy was kind of really annoying with his sword because I had to just follow it around the best I could and learn when it was ready to be thrown at Mr. Mummy. Slammed Mummy Boss 4 times with this sword, and Sky Sand was finished just like that. His particle effects were probably the coolest part of this entire challenge. iBoss was pretty much the same as Mummy. I knew when to start climbing up to slam his eye, and the lasers were a lot more fun to dodge and split-second decision making than miles before you actually had to do anything. His laser walls he made near the bottom of his arena were one of the very few attacks not to really be changed up in the entire game. Which, of course, was a very welcome change. I see the irony. Yes. I came here after spending upwards of 2 hours in Black Castle for my 6 HP upgrades. Instead of repeating myself with an all-new insult about this place, I just have to play the clip of my complaints here that I made in the previous video, purely because I can't possibly put it any better than what I previously said. I typed falling a fuck ton on this script, but I just recorded 3 different samples of both falling and this hard, just to represent how fucking boring this shit is. If you can find any entertainment in this area, congratulations. You may also find fun in such things as watching paint dry, watching a brick wall crumble away, or the most entertaining, watching the sun and or moon move across the sky. I also tried to find music that represents just how boring this entire section of the game is. I couldn't. No music in the world could sum up how boring this is. Even 433. And that classical piece of music is literally composed of the sounds going on in the very same room for the next 4 minutes and 33 seconds. And even then, that is entertaining to watch because the guy is just fucking sitting there with a stopwatch for 3 measures of silence. People paid money to see that shit. You expect me to pay money to watch the video game equivalent to that? I would much rather spend money to watch a live performance of 433 than do Skylands ever again for free. This shit can't be entertaining. Being forced to do this on repeat endlessly is a form of human torture. You can't pay me enough money to make this area sound enjoyable. I'll just refund you, as that is truly the most impossible thing in this challenge, any challenge, or just a casual playthrough for that matter. Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope. Romans 8:18. Normally, Chapter 3 is dedicated to all the hardest, most grueling parts of this challenge. There are many areas, bosses, hard upgrades, and probably abilities that aptly fit the bill here, so many in fact, that I have no idea what to actually put here. So I counted myself, all the deaths throughout this video, tallied them up per boss, heart, and ability, and decided, based on that, which ones to add here. The entire current itself won by a gigantic landslide, not in deaths, just fucking pain. Mental, physical, and spiritual pain this area caused me. Also deaths. Second compared to the gargantuan hemorrhoids that is the entirety of Black Castle. Oh boy, the curtain. Let's break this entire place down, screen by screen. The ending of this place is a lot more intense and high stakes than the beginning. Screen 1 and 2 doesn't change by all that much. I fuck up Screen 2's jump more than I like to admit, purely because I am incompetent. Screen 3 here has a baby blue ghost. My strat, as I can't see when a ghost has begun following me, jump close to where I know it is, as this one is above the player enough to walk under it. I began to walk under the ghost to the far right wall, then blast its ass to the point where it can no longer follow me. This is the safest strat. The strat I use is clearly a bit different, but as long as the ghost doesn't fuck you by the time you are doing the raised roof slide part, you are golden. Screen 4 is just the same as Screen 1 and 2 in terms of changes. It is just a lot more nerve-wracking. Screen 5 is just a platforming screen and holds no bearing or difficulty tied to it. Screen 6 makes up for it by being the second hardest screen, followed instantly by Screen 7, the hardest screen of Curtain. Screen 6 features 2 ghosts, all out for blood and ready to kill you. My strat is to blast Ghost 1 to the far left of the screen, because ghost blasting is sometimes inconsistent. You may have to blast the ghost a lot more than 3 times to ensure the ghost is off screen. Then, when standing on the second falling platform, jump up, as this causes Ghost 2 to foolishly follow you. Jump up and down, no double jump, just a full height single jump until the ghost is in your field of view. Quickly move to platform 1 or hell, the set of yellow orbs, and blast that ghost to the same spot as Ghost 1. Screen 7 tells a story of misery, and unlike the rest of the screens, falling at pretty much any point here is a damage sentence. Since we need as much health as one can muster for Ninja, we have to make this screen as safe as possible. Get Ghost 1 to follow you as soon as possible, then blast their ass away from the bottom-most platform. There is of course Ghost 2, which is, for some ungodly reason, a bitch to fire at. So jump onto the platform slightly directly above you to prevent Ghost 1 and 2 from hunting you. At this point you are almost home free. There's just Ghost 3 to worry about. Ghost 3 hunts you if you are being too slow and jump to the second to highest platform when it is a bit more to the left than it should be. Around about, here. It also starts its hunt if you are platform 3 and all the way to the left. They are proper assholes. Jumping onto platform 3 when it is beginning to head to the right and about to meet up to the middle allows you to jump onto platform 4 and 5 without triggering the go. Do not, under any circumstances, go anywhere but the far right to leave this screen. Failing this jump means you have to do this screen all over again, and you'll probably get hit on your descent if not fall all the way down to screen 6 or under rare circumstances screen 5. Screen 8 requires just some roof sliding, and Screen 9, the final screen, just requires patience and a novice level of mid-air strafing and you are home free. Screen 8 is also Ninja's Arena, and here we are, the boss of Current. My strat here is to run for him and let him get a few words in edgewise, skip his fight once I am near the middle, and keep walking to de-seek his shurikens and teleportation to the far left as much as possible to allow me to dodge his first wave of shurikens. For his Shadow Clone Jutsu attack, I just jump and stay in the air as much as possible. Dive bomb when I am almost no longer safe and jump as soon as possible. When he takes his breather, get close to him and slam him with the first fireball. Pretty much enter him and spam the fuck out of that fire button. If done right, I can land anywhere between 2 to 4 hits on him, 4 being a 1-hit KO and 2 being a 2-hit KO. 2 hits, for me, are consistent, and for our successful run, we do in fact beat him via 2-side beat. I am a man enough to admit that this place brought me to physical tears and pure frustration, since dying/failing once on screen 6, 7, or God forbid 8, would mean I have to waste upwards of 10 more minutes in the curtain. A death to Ninja meant I had to waste another 15 minutes of my life on him, and just to add insult to injury, everything that could hypothetically go wrong in the curtain for this particular run did in fact happen. This place shouldn't have taken over 20 minutes to complete, but it took 1.5 hours. This place was hell, and if they were handing out medals for anything in this challenge, here in Black Castle should be a medal in itself. Furthermore, I realized here that Black Castle on the other hand means I have to go through 5-ish minutes just to get past screen 5, let alone the whole fucking thing. If this were a speedrun, we would be roughly 4 hours into this challenge, and in mid-game, it took us around 4 hours to also end mid-game with 2 ghosts, keeping the challenge, at least according to time, about equal with each other. Black Castle would and will fix that. Speaking of the devil, let's go on to the end of the game, Black Castle.
They did so narrow at the bottom.
Fucking hell. Can't see shit. It dawned on me in Ice Castle this place would be brutal. I'm not even going to edit anything out. I'm just going to stitch all the successful attempts together, let it play at normal speed, and let all y'all appreciate the fact this place took me nearly 6 hours to complete. No. I must complain. I must bitch. I must talk about this place in the only way I know how to. Swearing. What you are looking at right now is a screenshot of a completed Black Castle. On difficult, there are 3 save points. The first one is before the bullshit fest. 4 screens later you get the second. So where's the third one, you may ask? Well, I covered it up. I'm gonna let you guess for 5 seconds where it could be. The end of Black Castle, for your information, is of course marked by a black X. If you guess literally anywhere that wasn't the black X, you are a fucking dumbass. That's right. First save point is 4 screens. The second is for the entire fucking rest of Black Castle. And that isn't the worst goddamned part of this. No, not by a long shot. The damage for every last thing here is 120 with 3 toughness upgrades. And that still isn't the best part. With max health of 1050, you can survive a grand amount of 8 fucking hits. And that is with every last heart in the entire game. Which means, for my best chance of survival, I have to 100% the entire rest of the game minus Cloud Run. So max is really 1040 for Black Castle. No, wait, sorry, I mean 1030, since 1 heart is in fucking Black Castle. The bar minimum health required for 8 exact hits is 960 health, which is 9 hearts short of the maximum. So fine, that's not that many hearts, let's be honest. But wait, there's more, because of fucking course there is. There's flashing screens in Black Castle that cover your vision. I can already only see 1% of the entire fucking screen, and the flashing screens are all on the fucking hardest possible screens of Black Castle. And not only that, but there is a hallway where you have to react quickly to balls that spawn on the opposite end. I can't fucking see them until they are 100% going to hit me. So I guess there goes half my fucking health, leaving me with 3 goddamn hits prior to the hallway. And 5 for the rest of Black Castle. And these flashing screens are all prior to the hallway. Which means I'm gonna probably take a shit ton of damage before I even step foot in the hallway. So just what in the fuck? Let's take a breather here. Now that I got the complaint out of my system, let's go through all these points in more depth. Paragraph of text style. 970 health is the actual bare minimum amount of health for the maximum damage allowed to be taken. This leaves 8 hearts in the game to leave behind for future collection if needed for Ghost King. Not that it matters, he does 120 damage for everything as well. Flashing screens destroy your vision entirely. They pretty much only appear on the worst possible, highest damaging screens of Black Castle, and as I said, we need at least a couple hits to survive the barrage of bullets. Best case, we survive all screens prior to this hallway with at least 3 hits. Considering I did a challenge with similar conditions on this difficulty, that shouldn't be too bad. But in that challenge, I could fucking see save points. I get that difficult is supposed to be just, difficult. But what the fuck, man? First save point carries you through 4 easiest screens of Black Castle, blindness or not. The second carries you through the entire rest of the fucking thing, with no mercy or breaks. What is this gargantuan dump truck sized pile of bullshit? If you want to know why this video took nearly double the time, think this fucking nightmare shit show of a world, and this challenge is ungodly. It single-handedly fueled me with so much rage that I just had to take a break from the game. With all of this bullshit in mind, here it is. For real. The 9 full yards. The completion of Black Castle. Screens 1 and 4. These were all arrow launcher based, and the strat for those kind of rooms aren't all that different. Just hope and pray you jump and hit them at the right time. Screen 1 I can never do correctly. Screen 2 and 3 lack any difficult blind timing arrow launchers and thus are easy as shit to beat, unless I launch myself into the spikes and then just fucking don't listen to me. Screen 4 is just chill as fuck. Nothing really difficult to end up here. That being said, this is 30 minutes into Black Castle. This is rough. With Screen 5, all you have to do is hug the wall upon ass slamming that first button and heading straight up to the other one. Then play the world's most unbelievably bullshit game of dodgeball ever. And pray RNG doesn't corner you. Now, in all fairness, if you're good and a god at timing, you can easily just walk out of the traps. And that is honestly the most epic power move you can do in this game. So that's I guess in fairness. Anyway, you want to beat screens 5 through 10 without taking damage, as you are going to use up 2 hits or so on screen 11. Thanks to the arrow launcher, you can do screen 11 without getting hit, of course. But it is so much more difficult, and you run the insanely high risk of taking unnecessary damage, which would probably be fine in any other area of the game, but here, extra damage is never really an option. And screen 12 and 13 are simple. Just be good at jumping through hoops for screen 12 and hug the walls as best you can in screen 13. From this point on, Black Castle is no longer taking it easy. Screen 14 is a proper bitch. Just remember to save your double jumps best you can for the upper section, and remember that literally every single surface, minus literally 1 right-facing wall, 3 roofs, and 4 floors, are safe. Screen 15 features 2 ghosts, a bit of jumping, and a blinking screen. If you play it safe, and I mean insanely safe, and shoot Ghost 1 off screen just fiddling and dicking around, should get you to the drop in the dead center of the room. Since we are in difficult, the second ghost can start chasing you before you get to the brick destroying section. You have 2 options. The strat that is risky but quicker is to not shoot the ghost at all until you get to the top, then shoot the fuck out of the ghost to the left and slam down to the far right of the bricks while holding them. Alternatively, you can shoot it at the beginning much like Ben here does. But I don't do that, mainly because of how fucking annoying circling and breaking this ghost's ankles can be. At least, to me, if you do the former, you should slide the bird straight down into screen 16. Screen 17 forces us to go to the right as we had to push some stupid buttons. Now, I never stated in the rules of this challenge that I couldn't look at the screen without Grotto Darkness and just fucking cheat off that. And up until now, I swear to God, hand on the Bible, swear on my firstborn life, I have not done that. But please, for the love of God, understand, so far, the first time I got here anyway, it has taken me 4 hours to get here. 4 hours! And I still have Ninja Boss and the final boss to complete. I didn't want to risk it all because I got to screen 17 by pure luck. And a screenshot of a difficult non-dark Grotto Darkness Black Castle screen 18 so I can know exactly where the black homing arrows are to shoot them. Upon realizing I could just walk into the room and kill them with ease by jumping and firing upon hitting the roof, I went ahead and did that. Used my fireballs to tell my blind jumps for me and made it through screen 18. Screen 19 sends us through the bullet wall fest. This means that it is up to RNG to decide if I should live or if I should die. I hope to Jesus Christ himself that his bitchy ass brother RNGesus would spare my restless spirit. To my surprise, he did, with some insanely complex maneuvers such as walking right and not doing literally any fucking thing else. You can complete this room by just getting hit twice. If you're lucky, once, and if you have dream luck, 0 times. To sum up this hallway, I'll give it a name. This hallway shall forever be dubbed I'm a brave boy hallway. And in honor of this glorious bitch, I will always just walk through the ports, regardless of the challenge or my personal well-being. Hope you have been enjoying all the Edmund McMillan game official soundtracks for this section. I've legit ran out of music, but we are almost done with this bullshit castle, so just bear with it. Continuing on, screen 20 is another easy screen. Upon entering the room, a homing triangle instantly goes for us. I play it as safe as I can and jump onto the roof. This way, I can manipulate the triangle into stabbing the roof. As long as I time it right, I can drop down and shoot the triangle with my fire. I have about 2 to 3 chances at this, and then I enter the room on the left and immediately enter in again if I fail to kill this instant triangle bitch. I then jump onto the roof and slide my way to victory. I have to jump as there is a gap right in the roof that forces your hand, and it is a dick. I start sliding on the roof just as the lights start fading out. That way they fade back in, but I actually can see the jump I have to make. I must give credit to Ben for providing me footage for an unblinded, difficult Black Castle. I would get the footage myself, but considering An Untitled Story is such a niche game with a niche fanbase, I gotta spread the attention around. Anyway, I jump at the red energy orbs and lead my way to screen 21. Time is of the essence here, so I jump and shoot the first blue platform and make my way up to the second, wait a tad bit for the third wall of purple balls to pass by and jump to the third. Screen 22 is the grand bitch to end all bitches, starting with a simple drop or strafe or whatever you want to call it section to go through. What is nice about Maddie Thorsten is this feels more like a baby's first kind of thing, as you can just drop down the middle and with extreme ease just drop through to the bottom with no hassle or movement. Walk straight until we get to the first visible on-screen moving arrow launcher that doesn't put you at literally any form of danger or returning to a previous screen form of punishment. I shit you not, in the entire fucking game. Jump onto it at the right time, and for the love of all believable gods, do not jump. You're sent straight into the air, and that arrow launcher, unless you fucking move, cannot realistically slam you into a damaging area or obviously send you straight to the previous screen. Fire your shot at the fire platform as you are ascending. If you hit on descension or fail to get onto the platform on descension, don't bother writing that out. Depending on the level of your health and how big the balls you have, you can jump all the way to the end and drop straight to the finish line. Or be a fucking pussy and use the second platform, no offense to Ben of course, and jump to the finish line. Either way, if you have less than a hit left to take damage, safe to say you want to take this as easy as humanly possible. Once you get to that finish line, just run straight to the end and hit that save point and be proud you wasted anywhere between 1 to 5 hours on what is considered the hardest world of the game. Dear friends, do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal that has come on you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you. But rejoice, inasmuch as you participate in the sufferings of Christ, so that you may be overjoyed when his glory is revealed. Peter 4:12-13. Despite taking nearly 5.5 hours to complete Black Castle, we aren't even out of the woods yet, as we still have Black Castle's fucking boss to contend with, Ninja's Last Stand, which is infinitely harder. At this point, we are stuck with 8 hits, and we have to memorize an ungodly amount of positions he takes to fire his shots. And then, guess correctly what side he is on, and above all else, get back to the middle platform to dodge even faster moving shurikens. Safe to say that completing Black Castle was the easy part. I have nothing left to say, other than this boss is still, somehow, not the hardest one to defeat. Without further ado, let's get on to the death of the biggest bitch in the universe. Originally, I was going to skip my explanation of this fight because the strat to him is self-explanatory, but I just need to sum up the entire fight and all the attempts with a meme. So here is attempt number fucking 5, where Ninja was at last hit, and he decided to spawn on the left 3 times in a row. Complete fucking bullshit. I read a rumor that this An Untitled Story game is a CIA surveillance device to monitor people, and that Maddie Thorsten is a overseas CIA sleeper agent. And obviously, I am somewhat sane, so I don't believe that. But tell me all of that, and then show me the raw footage of this boss fight, and I will 100% believe you. This fucking asshole is some mind reader. But enough complaints about this ninja fuck. We won. It is done. 47 total fills later. We head north to the final climb. The greatest victory is that which requires no battle. Sun Tzu, Art of War. In order to beat this unholy beast, we have to dodge ghosts, which are, of course, invisible and fucking everywhere. Much to my surprise, this area was significantly better than what I anticipated. And the air launcher here was a non-moving, fully visible one that just shot you through a tunnel of like 8 ghosts. A tad bit nerve-wracking on the descent of the speedrun skip, but overall this was arguably the easiest part of this challenge, and that is, of course, factoring in early game night.
Here we are, the finale. I dreaded every last second of this fight. Took a 2-week break just to mentally prepare for the actual destruction I was going to cause. Then I touched that arrow launcher that sends you straight into the boss room, and you may think this one doesn't count as one that puts you in danger, or sends you back to a previous screen. If that is your honest logic, I can see it, just know you're wrong. These balls are indescribably painful to fight. They deserve no mention, but they are mentioned regardless. My god, the penultimate fight is here. We still got Persona 5, Strikers, music playing right now. Nope. My god, the penultimate fight is here. We still got Persona 5, music playing right now. A clear calling card for an insanely difficult fight and or legendary fight, Legman. Everything this guy does is fucking bullshit. So bullshit that not even I could handle it. I had Siskiyou nerf him, but because of how this entire boss fight is handled, that came with the price of nerfing almost every boss in some way. Lizard unchanged, Ball's laser shots do 45 damage, which literally changes jack shit. They are still nightmares. Ghost King's lasers are all 45, but his walls boulders, and of course homing missiles do 120, so basically everything's unchained. I did this, of course, because this makes Legman's fight easier, but this video will literally never have been made without the change. That is a promise. With all that out of the way, and no more stalling or pure agony, without further ado, let us kill Ghost King. I break away from all conventions that do not lead to my earthly success and happiness. Anton LaVey, the Satanic Bible. After all of this pain and suffering, I must ask myself one thing, and one thing only. What God would allow this? Literally none of them. And that is why I realize that a God or gods don't exist, but rather the idea is that it's just a symbol of peace, comeuppance, and prosperity in the face of adversity. Do I believe in an all-powerful deity? Hell no! Do I believe in the symbolism that God is? Yes. This challenge basically was taking a platformer, Metroidvania bullet hell game, and just saying fuck it, make it so I can't see 99% of the screen for the entire game. If you got this far, you may as well like and subscribe. My third challenge might have nothing to do with An Untitled Story. It might, who knows, until probably exactly a year from now. I forgot to mention, the final percentage is 95%. It easily could be 100, but I'm not doing it. because I don't want to.